The final presentation for the Bio 1310 by Parker will include the following videos, which address topics added to the course as a result of the OLC course. So the first topic would be formative assessment and introduction survey. Second, overview of Biology 1310 online course structure with added accessibility through closed captioning. The third, active learning strategies where visual and oral discussion threads are incorporated to deepen the thinking and add reflection on the part of the students, thus engagement. The game plan revisions stimulate the inclusion of a study area currently added to the course, a meet and greet course members, and tips for success, hear from other students. Finally, the game plan revisions for the future look to include revisiting alignment of the course objectives within module objectives and lab objectives, making sure that alignment is vertical and horizontal. Well, today I'm going to talk about how I incorporated formative assessment into one of the introductory assignments that I asked my students in Bio 1310 to complete. I've included this in the announcements, and let me show you what that looks like. So this is an announcement that will go out to students before the first day of class, and it's an introduction survey. So what I'm trying to ask them to do, besides introduce themselves, is to have them to begin thinking about what the course can do for them. So of course I'm going to ask them to upload a picture, share their graduation date, tell me about their intended career, and what their major is. This is where I deviate a little bit, explain how you anticipate this course will support your intended career success. I think that's an important question from where they sit, because they're non-majors. They don't want to take a science course, but they are forced to do it through our core curriculum. So this may acclimate them more to make the connections of how this can help them. How many online courses have you taken in one semester? And then not whimsical, but an important inference for me is for them to describe a fun science lesson that they had participated through in some aspect of their life. And then this ends that particular survey. Then they would upload all the items, and I would learn much more about them. So what I'm going to show you now is the inclusion of accessibility by including closed captioning in a piece that will help students understand better how to navigate the particular course if it's their first online, or how this one is set up differently from others they've had. So the students would be asked to start here via the syllabus, and then they would go to this video, which is how to use course content modules in Bio 1310. So I'll just give you a little bit of the video, and you can see it's a YouTube video. However, let me play that. In YouTube, unless you click the So as you can see, the overview did show the student in closed captioning. Now, the reason that you're going to see two overlays of the closed captioning is because in YouTube, the closed captioning has to be clicked on. And of course, in terms of accessibility, that's not necessarily the best way to use closed captioning. It should come on automatically if students are or are not needing the closed caption. So that's an example of the bringing more accessibility into this particular course as a result of OLC. As part of my active learning strategies, I use the course lesson modules. In particular, I'm going to show you Module 1, where I incorporated the idea of a visual discussion thread as opposed to just the textual that we usually use. And the thought there is that it might help encourage visual learners to become involved. So as you can see, for Module 1, we have a discussion thread that deals with an adaptation and scientific method. And here it says that they'll want to respond briefly with an oral response, which indicates that they can either use a Jing.com, which is free, or Voice over PowerPoint, YouTube, where they would record themselves possibly with a phone or a sound recorder, Voki or Zoom. There's any number of tools that they could use to respond back to me. So here I initiate the discussion thread by asking them to look at the visualized TED Talk on how animations can help scientists test a hypothesis. Now, when I click on this, it'll go straight to the talk. So I'm not going to record the entirety there, but I do want to take you over to the discussion thread area and show you what that would look like in that area. So I'll move over there to Module 1, Discussions. And as you can see, here's the Module 1. Of course, this does have what I use now, and it does have what I will incorporate in the future, which is a visual discussion thread pertaining to scientific methodology. So they would have watched the TED video. Here's another link to it. And thereafter, they would reply with their own visual cue. Well, today we're going to look at the communication links that I added in order to help students collaborate more in the Bio1310 lab. One of the areas that I added was the study area, and I'll click to that quickly. So you can see that I created a discussion room and actually have it in Spanish as well for Spanish language speakers. And it's an area where they can discuss peer-to-peer without any conflict with the professor. Now, I'll go in and monitor behind the scenes, but this way they have a running dialogue of areas where they need to study. And then you can see that I've given for more accessibility in terms of language differences, I've added some direction in this area. Now, the study area itself, I'm going to click to it, and I've just given an example. They might post a question where they're needing help, and then making sure that we don't have misinformation. There we go. The student would, whoever feels like they have information could respond to this particular question. Now, after that, in addition to the study area, I also added an area called Meet and Greet Your Course, and that area includes where students will post their pictures on the formative assessment, and then they can get an idea of what people look like if they're in this particular course. Now, you'll notice, because I didn't ask permission to attach their name with their picture for the whole class to see, that I just gave some pictures. But I think after a whole semester, some students would be able to determine that. In the future, after I pilot this, I'm going to see if I can attach names to the faces, and that might be a nice little touch. And then finally, in terms of the communication, I added tips for success, hear from other students. And what this is an area where on a very small amount of bonus points, I've asked students to, for the end of the semester, to answer 3 to 4 questions for me. What worked well? What did they in particularly do themselves in order to be successful in the class? What would they have done better? And then they offer up what they've done. And as you can see as I'm scrolling, the font is different because these responses are from different students. So that's another way that I have increased the communication areas as a result of this OLC course. Well, I want to end my final presentation with a reflection of my own as a result of the OLC in this course, which aim to improve my particular skills, methodologies and strategies in order to provide a more engaged, accessible, and formative kind of course for my students. I really appreciate that it caused myself to reflect on the online environment I have created over the last many semesters, and to look at it with a new pair of eyes in a very targeted manner. Additionally, I think I gained so much from reading and discussing with my fellow instructors the applications that they provided for their particular course. Very interesting to see how similar online environments are, yet topically or discipline-wise, they are very different. And then finally, this idea that you continually need to improve to enhance the learning environment, be it online in this case or face-to-face. I think that's an important aspect to remember. And this improvement supports and enhances the success of our students. So in all, for myself, this course has been re-energizing and refreshing. I really appreciate the support that we've gotten, and I look forward to taking another course soon.